Health reasons. Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Gang to miss Asean meeting. China's electric car bubble is bursting. More than 80% of car companies have withdrawn. China's consumer prices fall, ending more than 2 years of growth, raising fears of deflation. Guizhou, fire in a traditional house in the world's biggest Miao village kills 2 people. Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Gang will not attend Asean meetings in Indonesia this week, extending a 2-week absence for health reasons. As reported by Reuters, spokesman Wang Wenbin said, State Councillor and Foreign Minister Qin Gang cannot attend this ASEAN ministerial meeting because of health reasons. China's foreign minister traditionally joins counterparts from the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, but Qin will not be in Jakarta for the annual gathering on July 13th and 14th. Wang Yi, China's top diplomat and Qin's predecessor, will attend instead. Wang is 1 step higher in the Communist Party's hierarchy, and his presence reflects the importance China places on the relationship. According to the South China Morning Post, the ministry declined to comment on whether Qin's health issues were because of COVID. Qin has missed several diplomatic events and meetings over the past fortnight. Qin was last seen on June 25th when he met Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Andrei Rudenko in Beijing to discuss China-Russia relations. Qin also held separate meetings that day with officials from Sri Lanka and Vietnam. Josep Borrell, the European Union's top diplomat, was scheduled to come to China to meet Qin and other senior officials. Still, China abruptly cancelled the trip just 2 days before Borrell's planned arrival on July 5th. Qin was also absent from U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen's meetings in Beijing last week, as well as the meeting between Chinese President Xi Jinping and Solomon Islands Prime Minister Manasseh Sogavare on July 10th. Wang was present instead. In recent years, the application of green energy policies by many governments worldwide has created a global boom in the electric car industry. In 2009, the Chinese government decided to give comprehensive support to the industry and began to provide subsidies. Governments at all levels of the CCP directly subsidize new energy vehicle manufacturers, and units and individuals that buy new energy vehicles can also enjoy reduced or exempted car purchase tax in big cities. With vehicle purchases and restrictions, new energy cars have become the exception. Statistics from the China Association of Automobile Manufacturers show that in the first 7 months of 2022, total NEV output and sales were 3.28 million and 3.2 million units, up 118 and 116.1% year-on-year, respectively. China has maintained its leading position worldwide for 8 consecutive years, demonstrating continuous explosive growth. However, Meng Juan, the owner of a private Chinese business living in the US, said that the CCP wants to use new energy vehicles to demonstrate that the Chinese market is the largest and fastest growing globally. But this is an even worse problem than Chinese real estate, because most new energy vehicles are subsidy frauds. According to reports from the CCP's official media channels, some of the CCP's subsidy quotas for new energy vehicles are higher than the selling price of the cars themselves, thus generating many types of subsidy fraud. There are currently several types of fraud that have been exposed. Firstly, report a lie about the car, which has a brand but no car. Under the CCP's subsidy policy, factories can only receive government subsidies after producing and selling vehicles to users. However, some companies still need to make cars, but have forged customer information, obtained car license plates, and applied for government subsidies. According to the authorities, Suzhou-based Kim Long automobile manufacturer, Suzhou King Long, reported 1,683 new fake energy vehicles in a year. Second, misreport key parameters and identity mismatch. These parameters include cruise range, battery capacity, and vehicle bus length, directly related to the specific allowance amount. The CCP government sets subsidies at multiple levels, and misreporting key parameters may result in higher subsidy amounts. Third, buy back batteries and conspire together to commit subsidy fraud. In China's new energy vehicles, the highest component cost is the source battery. According to reports, the battery accounts for about 40% of the vehicle's price. However, battery systems and cars are incompatible, so some companies sell and buy cars from customers after receiving government subsidies. After purchasing, they fix it into a traditional gasoline-powered vehicle, and then sell it in the countryside. At the same time, they install the removed battery system for the next car, from which they repeatedly apply for subsidies. Of course, those so-called customers are family members, who also make money from this purchase. The three types of subsidy fraud mentioned above are methods identified by the CCP's media. Meng Juan said that there is also another advanced trick, which is not considered cheating in the legal sense. It reasonably uses loopholes in the CCP's subsidy policy: self-production and self-consumption, and moving from left to right hand. The so-called self-production and self-consumption mean that after the new energy vehicles are produced, they are not sold to ordinary end users, but to affiliated companies, i.e. downstream leasing companies fully invested or contributed by these automakers. As long as the cars are sold, manufacturing companies can receive financial subsidies from the government. As for whether this car rental company is doing well or not, it doesn't matter. If there is a profit, even better. If the business is not good, you can take the car out and get the most expensive battery back to continue earning and take another turn. Meng Juan said that wherever new energy vehicle manufacturing companies existed in China, you would find new energy vehicles parked everywhere on the streets, in alleys, under viaducts, and in empty car lots. It's all new cars. They put it there for the public to see. It's all used to cheat benefits. There is no exact data on how much the CCP has spent on new energy vehicles. According to estimates by analysts, the amount of subsidies accumulated over 13 years is at least hundreds of billions of yuan. This figure excludes the investment hundreds of so-called new energy car companies have received. And what is the current state of these companies? NIO, XPeng, and Li Auto, the so-called three strong in China's new energy car manufacturing force, are currently loss-making. According to the three companies' annual financial statements, NIO posted a net loss of 14.437 billion yuan, about $1.99 billion. XPeng Motors lost 9.14 billion yuan, about $1.26 billion. Li Auto lost 2.03 billion yuan, about $280 million in 2022. Compared to 2021, the three companies mentioned above all delivered more cars last year. Revenue also increased, but the opposite loss was also more significant. Meng Juan said that China's new energy vehicle companies do not make money. They rely on state subsidies. While the CCP government is canceling subsidies, the electric vehicle industry has also started a fierce price war. Since the beginning of this year, Tesla has made many price adjustments, and the drop in price of electric vehicles has swept the world. Dozens of automakers in the Chinese auto market have had to cut prices in turn. In addition, the escalating US chip ban on China has also affected China's electric vehicle industry. According to the report, electric vehicles use over twice as many chips as non-electric vehicles. He Xiaopeng, chairman and CEO of XPeng Motors, said during a technical architecture conference in April this year that eliminating the auto industry has just begun. Only 8 major auto companies will be in China in the next 10 years. Data released by China's regime on July 10th shows that China's consumer prices ended more than 2 years of growth in June. According to Nikkei, this has raised concerns about deflation amid a sluggish job market in China and a slow recovery in consumer spending. The data also shows that the year's overall consumer price index, or CPI, was unchanged. Meanwhile, core inflation rose 0.4%, the slowest increase since March 2021. Core inflation calculated by China's regime excludes food and energy and is a measure of household purchasing power. Data on the first day of the week shows price reductions for the year of 4.3% for cars and other vehicles, 1.8% for home appliances, and 1.5% for communication devices. Weakness in the condominium market contributes to this downward trend, as only a few people buy furniture and other home appliances when they move into new homes. Besides, the rent level has decreased monthly since May 2022. As CPI growth has slowed since peaking in January, consumer inflation expectations have eased. In the second quarter, from April to June survey by the People's Bank of China, Out of 20,000 people, only 23.1% believed prices rose this quarter, the lowest percentage of data collected since the second quarter of 2010. The decrease in purchasing power directly affects production and the job market. 5.52 million urban jobs were created in the first 5 months of 2023, down 8% from the year-on-year average from 2017 to 2019. The data also showed that the producer price index extended its decline to a 9th month, with a 5.4% drop, more significant than the 4.6% drop in May. Lower commodity prices are likely to drag down China's CPI. Toru Nishihama, the chief economist at the Daiichi Life Research Institute, predicted year-on-year CPI changes will hover around 0 for the time being, and could even dip temporarily into negative territory. On July 10th, a fire broke out in the famous scenic spot Xijiang Tianhu Miaojia village area in Guizhou. 2 large wooden buildings were burned to the ground, killing 2 villagers and injuring 6 others. The video shows that amidst the billowing smoke, 2 people used bedsheet-like items to climb down from the 3rd to the 2nd floor and then risked jumping to the ground. The Asean County Emergency Management Bureau issued a notice at noon on the 10th, saying that just before 10 a.m. on the same day, a fire broke out in Xijiang Village, Asean District. By about 10:20, the fire was extinguished, although 2 wooden homes were destroyed. The cause of the fire is not yet clear. Villager Yue, who lives near the scene, told Jiupai News that maybe a gas explosion was the cause of the fire. The first building to catch fire had a sign saying, "A Nom Restaurant." She said, "I heard a sudden explosion, then saw the window fall down, and then there was smoke, and then I heard one explosion after another. After the fire, some people jumped out from the 3rd floor, but fortunately the people below caught them." Miao Xijiang Tianhu village in Asean County is the largest Miao village in the world. This village consists of more than 10 natural Miao ethnic villages built on the mountain, and the housing structures are mainly wooden stilted houses. It's located about 161 miles, or 260 kilometers, from the capital city of Guizhou province. The latest statistics said there are about 1,288 families, with a total population of around 6,000. Most local people are of Miao nationality.